Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. This was, I did put this on to be scheduled on YouTube, but I've decided to put it on StreamYard now because, I just thought it would be important to be able to speak with you guys and get your feedback on this one. So, hello guys, and welcome to another day in paradise. And welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's live video, we are going to be discussing mental health in the Repat community. This is something that I've done a video on before. Hello, Mayman Dev. Hello. I've done a video on this before, and a lot of people thought I was a little crazy for talking about it. I got a lot of stick for it. A lot of people said, "Hey, what are you doing a video on mental health for? Why are you talking about mental health like you know something? Why are you discussing it and you're not a professional? You're not a psychologist. How would you know? Yeah, how would you know whether someone's actually suffering with mental health issues?" Hello, Anime. Hello. How would you know whether someone is... People know. You don't need to be a bloody professional in order to know when somebody's struggling. So, thank you, Andre. Thank you very much. Hello, KS. Hello. So, guys, I saw something the other day, yesterday, I saw on Instagram that we are still having black people who have, that's good, KS, then we're going to need your assistance on this one, because we still have black people who are calling the police when we have a loved one who's going through a mental breakdown. I just don't understand which planet these people are living on. I cannot fathom how you would call these race soldiers to handle a situation that is clearly a situation where these people are bound to escalate the situation and not calm things down. What you're doing, right, when you have a loved one who has a mental breakdown of some kind, right? You call the police, you call these soldiers, and they come running to your house. They love it. Black male, suffering with possible mental problems. They love that. They're like, yes, I'm going to get to do stuff now. And no one can blame me for it because I can just say, hey, hello, Kwame. Yeah, so I could do whatever I like with this person because, hey, this person's got mental health. He has mental health problems. I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I'm going to have some fun. That's what they're thinking deep back in their mind. They think this way. So you need to put yourself into, I know it's difficult, but you need to sort of put yourself in the shoes of one of these race soldiers, these pathetic individuals, you know who I'm talking about, in blue. So that's the way they act. And we still, after everything that has happened, we are still having black people in America calling the police when a loved one has problems with their mental health. Thank you, Kwame. Yeah, so I just couldn't believe when I saw this. And then I started asking the question, Do we have the same problems? Do we have similar problems in the Repat community? Now, I know I've done videos on this before in the past, and I was shut down. I said, what people were said, hey, no, you cannot do this. You cannot answer this question. You don't have any professional piece of paper where you went to school and copied, remembered stuff, and then did the test, and then got a piece of paper which says that you are qualified to talk about mental health issues. No, I don't have that. But I do have a family member who has been working and really having a lot of issues himself for half of his life now. And I can't believe it's half of his life. I truly believe that, that he had problems. It started when he was about 17. And this kid, my younger brother, he had everything going for him. And so, there was, actually, it was horrible to see him go through this situation. I have had experiences of having to run to a motorway. So what do you guys call it? A highway. To pick my younger brother up, who escaped from a mental health institution. I've been there. I've done that. It's a horrible situation to be in. And because he's lived with it for half his life, do you know, in movement, I'm talking about everything at this present moment. I'm talking about everything. So you do have these people who do need help. But within the Repat community, we have people who need help. And most of the times, not all the times, but most of the times, those people are the ones who are trying to take advantage of our situation. So I've got 3 videos coming up. And in all 3 of these videos, right, where I've had to explore these people, see what they've done, write a video. That's what I've done, edited it. And I've said, clearly these people have problems. They must have problems. They can't rationally and logically think this way. Maybe if you're an angry teenager or you're a toddler, and you know how toddlers act, when they get angry. I have a nephew, and when he was a toddler, he did something to his mother. His mother took him to the supermarket, and he wanted a particular piece of candy. And his mother was like, no, you cannot have this candy. So he absolutely went crazy, started shouting, screaming in the middle of the supermarket, lying on the floor, rolling around, shouting. And he did it for ages. And his mother ignored the child, walked away. He still carried on, angry, shouting, crying, everything throughout the entire supermarket. In the end, she gave up and gave my nephew the candy that he asked for. Do you know what he did? I'm not even sure if I've said this before. So what he did was he took it, threw it on the floor, and stamped on it. My nephew did that. I tell him this story all the time. He doesn't like it, but yeah, he did that. He's an engineer now. So it was a long time ago. Wild, absolutely wild that he did that. It tells us something. There are people out there whose egos are just like that of a toddler. And when their emotions you know, when they get upset and their emotions become high, all of a sudden they lose all logic and rationality. It all becomes about, it doesn't become about, you know, it stops it stops being about the candy, right? They don't want the candy anymore. They want to prove that they are right. That's what it's about. So it changes the objectives that they are going for changes. And it's wild. It's wild to see this. Have you ever had somebody or known somebody with schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is horrible. I know people, my brother had it. My brother has it. He lives with it now. Deals with it. Takes medication. Has ups and downs. Horrible situation to be in. Sorry, Miss Kizzy. It's being recognised. That's what defunding the police is about. Less policing and providing mental health worker to de-escalate. Happened to me. I know, but you know the police, the police, what are they called again? Unions. They're fighting against this. They don't want themselves to be defunded, but yeah, you know, there's a handful of states that have started defunding the police. I think Minnesota is one of them, and they've started to redirect resources onto other means of, you know, other organizations within the medical sort of sector that will deal with it instead of the police coming in heavy-handed like they always do, because they got, I don't know what happened to them in school, but something happened to them in school. Pathetic people, really, just really pathetic, the way they act. And you have them now. Sorry, happened to you? Oh, Miss Kizzy, I didn't. Did you have a mental health breakdown, Miss Kizzy? Ewan, did you do your hair? I did do. No, not my hair actually. Depends what hair. Art Kathy is a poster child. Yeah, she is. She is. I don't know. She is in a way, because, but I don't. I'm not sure she has any mental health issues. Actually, I don't know. I don't know about that one. It's not clear. But the people that I have done research on, you're going to know one of them tomorrow, because I'm going to make a video about her tomorrow, and I think I'm going to go live tomorrow about this particular YouTuber that I've never spoken about before. I've never mentioned her name before, right? But the way she's been acting, clearly she's having problems. She's having problems, and she's hurting other people who are moving away, moving back to Africa. And these people believe that they are in good hands until they move to Africa. And this person is targeting these people, knowing, they just know that these people are vulnerable. So you're leaving the confines of America, a place where you don't think you can grow no longer. You want to go back to Africa. You have another person who looks like you know, speaks like you, and they are doing you in because they know you got nowhere else to go. It's just so horrible what they are doing. So this is going to be the video tomorrow. This is just one of those people. And you're going to see this for yourself. But I watched the video today of this person. And this person was, what was this person doing? This person was asking people, begging for people to comfort her, because she was being targeted. This seems to be the go-to excuse. I'm being targeted. That tells you a lot about that person. When you do something wrong, okay, I do something wrong. I've done something wrong. I've taken somebody's money, or I haven't done the service that I promised I would do, and then I get it in the ear for it. People complain to me, and I'm being targeted. Oh, these people are targeting me. I'm sick of this excuse. People must be responsible and accountable for their actions, regardless of whether they are, well, actually, I don't know. Depends on which mental illness you have. But it's important for us to be able to recognize these signs. Recognize the signs that somebody is not 100% mentally fit to do the job that they are doing. There are, of course, many ways that you can avoid this. You can avoid doing business or getting help from people who don't have anybody over watching them, okay? Which means they are their own boss, and they get to do whatever they want to do, and nobody tells them any different. As soon as you have somebody in that position, problems. Because they get to make their own rules and do whatever they want to with impunity, right? Sorry, I'm just going to read some of the video. Oh, goodness, I hate it when it does that. So, respect the motherland. It is prevalent because the environment they are brought up is very weak and uncultured. But a lot of these people are brought up in the diaspora. We were brought up in the diaspora. Many of these people who are talking here in the chat room, who watch my videos, were brought up in the diaspora. They have no problems. They have come out well. A lot of them have been brought up in the diaspora in situations which are terrible, which would trigger, in most cases, trigger people to have some sort of mental issue. But they're not. They haven't gone out taking people's money, promising them gold and paying them with lead. They haven't done that. That's something which is being done right now within the Repat community. Most of you guys probably won't understand what I'm talking about, but you're going to see it for yourself tomorrow. You're going to see this person I'm talking about, and then there's going to be another person I'm going to talk about the next day. This person's not a YouTuber, and he's from the UK, and he's been targeting people like you, okay? He's not African-American, he's British-Jamaican. This guy's wild, man. God, I can't there's no one that can justifiably say that these people are completely 100% mentally healthy and that they know what they are doing. No one can no longer say this now. I used to tiptoe around it now. I used to tiptoe around it and say, oh, well, I don't know, maybe, possibly, but I'm just saying, yeah, it is. And so be it. I'm sorry, guys. But we're at this situation now where we have people in the diaspora who are trying to make it back to Africa, and you got people who see the people going back to Africa and saying, well, before you leave, excuse me, did you pay this tax? Did you pay your teeth? That type of thing. It's wild. Mitzi, mental health issues are universal despite culture. Some cultures just ignore it more. I mean, how do we know that, Mitzi? How do we know that? We are not brought up in the bush in Africa or in the outback in Australia, where you have Black people who have been living, thriving, within their own communities. Yes, some of them do have mental health issues, but how many people have mental health issues in those areas. You know, they live in an environment where they're eating natural foods that are not processed and filled with chemicals. They are living surrounded by nature, so they're not breathing in toxic gases from cars and trucks. You know, they don't have that problem. They're not, you know, forced to take vaccines. You know, well, some of them are, aren't they? Some of them are, but they don't have to, right? They don't have to. They're not forced to take these vaccines so they can go to a school where they're going to go and get ill anyway. I did that with my daughter 7 years ago. We brought her to kindergarten. She had all her shots. No, did she have all her shots? Yeah, she had her shots by then. Still used to come home ill, sneezing and coughing, and, you know, what's going on? There's no point in that. There are people out there, I think, who live in different environments that don't have these problems as prevalent as we do. And we now have these people who have these problems, who are, I say they're acting irrationally, but that's what I used to say. I used to always say that they were doing this for the money. But now it's clear that they are getting some sort of enjoyment out of it. It really is. This is what it looks like. Yeah, treated people with schizophrenia, and it can be challenging to get under control. It is terrible, KS. It can be really terrible, especially when those types of prescriptions, you know, the drugs that they're getting prescribed has these side effects, terrible side effects, you know, which makes the situation, even in some cases, even worse. Even if it's for a short time, it makes the situation even worse. You know someone with paranoia. I wonder who that is. Yeah, some of the medication is very toxic. Yes, can cause weight gain. Yep, damage the immune system. Seen all that. I've seen all of this. Hello, Idolove. Hello. No. Maybe. No, a close relative was diagnosed at 14. Okay, Miss Kizzy. Yeah, that's horrible, because then you get to see these people go with it. It's horrible, man. I remember the first time I saw my brother struggle. It was when I took him to the gym. He was training in the gym, and he just stood there for a moment. And it was like he was thinking. He just stuck for a moment. And I was like, what's going on? You know, I could see that there was something going on. I didn't quite understand what it was. And hello, Matify. Fang. Don't understand, Fang. KS. The best thing to do is to take your relative to A&E to avoid the police. Yeah. I mean, my relative's fine, of course. He's had it now for 16 years. He goes up and down, but he's kind of, there is a part of him that sort of understands when he's having problems, so he can control it. He controls it to a certain degree, but it's taken 10 years for him to get to this point. It's really horrible. But anyway, KS, you're saying that it's the best thing to do is to take that person to the accident and emergency. And this is a problem in the United States, because in that costs money, costs a lot of money to do that, right? It's horrendous. It costs that if you have a mental breakdown, you're going to get a bill. You're going to get a bill from somebody. I just don't understand that. I've never understood that sort of. I mean, I can understand it. There are people there that want to make money. Healthcare in America is expensive. I just don't understand that part. Art Kathy clearly has a problem. It may be undiagnosed. Some people don't want to accept that and have an issue. I think that to a certain degree, Miss Kizzy, that might be true. However, I have a feeling that whatever she has is mild and she sort of plays on it and understands it herself and uses it to her advantage. I think she can be cutthroat and she knows this. Yeah, you have people, you know, Richard Branson, you ever heard like Virgin, the guy that flew into space, the billionaire? Yeah, he has problems. But he was open about it, you know. He couldn't even finish high school. Richard Branson didn't even finish high school. He had all sorts of mental issues. Went on to become a billionaire. Aunt Kathy's clearly enjoying her life. She's in a position where she can just start something up and talk to people and they understand her, and she has a very strong following who worship her. So yeah, it really depends on what type of mental issue and how strong that mental issue is. You know, sometimes it can have a positive effect if you are trying to manipulate people, sell people stuff. Is it yes? No, Ida Love, it's not a yes. I've never spoken about this person before. Gambia only has one qualified mental health worker. Are you kidding me? So where did that go? Wow, that is one hell of a comment. Oh God, where is that? Let me put that up now. Gambia only has one qualified mental health worker. That is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I mean, I don't even know. Something needs to change there. Because clearly there are a lot of people coming over who, if they don't have mental issues now, they have had it in the past and they are susceptible for a relapse of that mental health issue coming back again. So, yeah, I can't, that is unbelievable. How do you determine that, UN? Because I've had experience with people, very close people, that have suffered with their mental health. And I'm old enough now to see that mental health, there's a huge scope on it. So some people have mental health issues and that's it, they struggle with it for the rest of their lives and they can't live a normal life. Some people have mental health issues and they become surgeons. You need to check that out. There are people that become, who are they? What do they have? They're on the spectrum. Surgeons are on the psychopathic spectrum. A lot of people, when you tell somebody that, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? I know a surgeon. I know a surgeon in my partner's family. And I haven't spoken to him about this, but just the way he is. You can imagine, you know, being a surgeon, a pediatric surgeon. You have a child that comes in your care and you have to take this child, you have to save this child's life, and you need to do something really quickly, right? You have to do surgery on that child. So you take the scalpel and you tinker around inside of another human being. Just think about how does it work? Okay, so the psychopathic spectrum, right? There are traits in the psychopathic spectrum. One of those traits is a lack of empathy. You don't have empathy. You don't have feelings like that, especially with the psychopathic spectrum. You don't have fear. That fear is gone. And this is why a lot of people say that a lot of surgeons are on the psychopathic spectrum, because they can just do stuff like that and without the second thought. It's because they don't think like me and you. They think differently. To that surgeon, that child is not a loving, happy child that, you know, has parents and love and all that type of thing. No, it's a machine that needs to be repaired. And it's better for them to go into that surgery thinking that that child is a machine and not another human being, where that person makes, if that surgeon makes one wrong turn, it's curtains. So that's what I mean. But I don't want to come off subject, clearly. I'm just saying that the scope of mental health is massive, and it's not something we can all understand. But one thing we can do is talk about the fact that it is clearly prevalent in our community, and that we need to, if we're not going to do something about it, we need to be aware of it, and we need to either avoid it with some people or try and help other people. So, I mean, like I said, how do I determine that? There are people who I've been doing research on, and I'm looking at what they've been doing, and I've said, no, these guys can't be mentally sane. Kai Pearls. Who remembers the Ugandan pastor Sepa saying America wants to bomb me? I can't remember that. Isatu's space. You really look like yourself today. Goat. Woo! Thank you. I'm not going to say that one out loud. ADOS. People who call themselves Africans have issues before they get to Africa. Wow, it's heavy. Mali. That's not for me, is it? Mali? Mental illness is different from the person you have to... Yeah, exactly. Which is, sorry, yeah, Ida Love. So yeah, this is what I mean. Sometimes you get people who just have these types of personalities. They just have a sort of like a personality, but that's what a mental health issue can be. Like if you have certain personality traits, a certain number of personality traits, that could make you a sociopath, right? So yeah, you got to separate the two, but they're still closely, you know, intertwined at some point. They are related. Hello, Tanya Cisse. Hello, Miss Kizzy. How did you determine people are mentally unfit? Just look. If you look at just the numbers, if you look at the numbers of people within our community that have mental health problems that we know of, and then you look at the number of people, the number of repats that are going back to Africa, clearly some of them have issues. They will. It's going to happen. And if you look at the environment that we're being brought up in, if, you know, you have to even ask yourself, was we designed for this way of life? Was it what our people wanted? Did our people back in the day, say 700 years ago, did our people want us to wake up and go to work from 9 to 5? No, they wanted us to work even harder, but they wanted us to work with the family. They wanted it to be an integral part of our lives. They wanted us to work for the family and the community. And that's where it was. It wasn't, oh, we're trying to work for somebody so a bunch of greedy people at the top can see growth in their company. That's not the way life is supposed to be. It's not. For me, anyway. But we've been conditioned into thinking that that is the case, that it's the norm. Hey, we want growth. We want more money. There are greedy people that want more money. No, that's not right. Not right for me, anyway. You know, if you, I'm going to read this. Maybe it's easier to act crazy and imbalanced so as to avoid consequences when they do wrong. I think that you get a lot of people who have mental health conditions who don't know, who don't realize it. And I think that's the case. And they believe in themselves so heavily that if you tell them they have a problem, they will think you are crazy. So I don't think people do it on purpose or act crazy to avoid the consequences. I just think that many of them just don't know, or they live a life inside that bubble and it comforts them to believe that they are the ones who are always right and that everybody else is wrong, even though they are not wrong, they are right. Okay. Let's have a look. It's important to stay away from substance use. Yeah, but I don't see that. It is true. It's important to stay away from substance use as well. For a long time with my brother, with his schizophrenia, I thought that it had something to do with weed. I thought it had something to do with marijuana usage. I thought this. Because it coincided around the same time in which it was triggered. This schizophrenia was triggered inside him. So I thought for a long time, mate, there needs to be a relationship there between these two. Because there's no way he's just started smoking weed and all of a sudden, bam, he's going into the hospital because he doesn't know how to think properly. I think sometimes not just illicit drugs, but even prescription drugs can open doors in our mind. And I think some of these doors need to not be opened. And I think some of them open these doors, and after these doors are open, they are no longer able to close them. And it lets out all types of stuff. It means you can't be yourself, you can't control yourself. Well, that's true to a certain degree, Kwame, but I don't have the numbers on that one, Kwame. I can't tell you that people living in downtown Accra, I don't know the numbers of people that have mental health issues in downtown Accra, So I can say with great confidence that those people who are living in an environment which is conducive to a healthy upbringing, without the processed foods, the fast foods, the meats. They don't always eat meat all the time, is it? They're not always eating meat in everything. They're not drinking dairy every single day from cows that have been pumped full of all sorts of drugs to make them bigger and stronger and leaner, so they can continuously produce more milk. I genuinely don't think that that these people are getting as many mental health issues as everybody else, those people, especially us in the diaspora. Now, us in the diaspora, we do have another problem as well, and that is most of the times the other people that we are living in the diaspora with, it's the people who we live amongst. They can trigger a lot of problems within us that they wouldn't have because they are living amongst, they are part of the majority in whatever country they live in, whether it be the UK or the USA or Canada or wherever. So I think where our location is also very important. It's just a crazy situation. I just think that we can't do much other than be aware that it's happening, be aware that there is people out there that do have these problems, and they are doing everything in their power to use their issues to their advantage, okay? They don't know they're doing it, but they're doing it. In Africa, there are loads of people suffering from mental health. You don't know what you are talking about. Stick to what you know. I mean, once again, you're not the first person to say this. Matter of fact, there has been many people who have said this. It's a very general comment as well. There are lots of people in Africa. Of course there are. Come on. Of course there are. Work Zeleke. I like that. I like that name. Work Zeleke. You just make that up? I'm sorry. Let me guess, a Repat is telling people Africa will cure their mental health. No. And I think you have a lot of Repats who are saying this. I think it's true to a certain degree. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. But I don't think it's a problem, because I think you get a lot of people who have mental health issues, and once they go to Africa, not everyone, it's not for everyone, but some people, it does put them back on track, okay? Because all of a sudden, they have to think differently. They have to think differently, and they can't rest on their laurels anymore and hope that, they can't just go to the Alcoholic Anonymous when you're in, I don't know, the Upper Volta region of Ghana. It's not as easy, is it? Yeah, insight. Everybody needs a bit of insight, right? There are mental health facilities in Africa, and most are stretched beyond capacity. Most of the patients are kept sedated. That is horrible. And I think you're right for certain countries. I think you would be absolutely correct. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I watched a documentary about a country that is now in the European Union. It was Romania. And the way they were treating their the mental health of these children, not even just the children that had mental health issues, but the normal children, the normal babies, they were being brought up in cages. I swear, I've never seen this in the European Union. They weren't in the European Union at that time, but they were just entering it. Literally, boy, oh boy, oh boy, what humans do to other human beings, you must have something special inside you to be that callous towards another human being that's in your care. So, yeah, I believe this, Kai Pearls. I do believe that. But like you just saw on the other comment, the Gambia has one mental health professional. One. So of course, there are other places in Africa that have more, clearly. Gambia is the smallest country in Africa, but you got to also recognize that it's likely that there are other countries, many other countries within Africa, and most African countries don't have very strong health facilities, period. So you have these people who have mental health, but we don't have the doctors. We don't have the doctors and the mental health professionals to deal with them. So, of course, most of their resources are stretched. And here we are, bringing our problems over from the diaspora. Hello, not sorting ourselves out. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. We're not helping in many cases. But I'm not really talking about these types of people. I'm talking about the people that I've been researching recently. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. You guys are going to see this for yourself. Yes, Timmy Roberts. Thank you very much. So I'm glad somebody else said this before I did. I have noticed that a lot of people in the conscious community do suffer from mental illness. But why is that? Is it because they're conscious and they understand what's going on around them? They realize what kind of a sick world they live in, all the things that we've been brought up with, all the things that we've done to one another as a human, as the human race. You know, we look at animals sometimes and we say this sort of term, oh, you're not supposed to act like an animal, but we act like animals. We act worse than animals sometimes. Oh, you trained in the UK, KS. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. America is a joke. America is. It's just crazy, but, you know, it's their system. So I think Juliet blacks it too. I don't know her well enough in order to answer that question or to give an opinion on it. I don't know whether she has something or not. I wouldn't be surprised. But like this other person just said up here, there are a lot of people in the conscious community that are suffering from mental health issues. I think that's true. I think that's very true. And this is why you need to be careful about who you're speaking to. You know, I need to ask myself whether I have problems. I need to question it. I need to not just diagnose myself, but, you know, I need to take my own brain apart and look at the way I behave sometimes. I do that. Do you know why you should do it? Because it proves to yourself that you don't have any problems. So if you are always analyzing your own decision or analyzing your own behavior, you are immediately healing yourself. It's the best thing to do, because normally people who have these types of problems don't analyze what they are doing. They just do, and they just know, and that's it. That's how you know whether somebody has a mental health issue, because those people who normally have mental health issues will never analyze their own actions. They won't think about the consequences. That's it. So yeah, I don't know about Julia. Honestly, I cannot say that. Mental health is not that prevalent in a lot of African countries, where I thought should have, because families struggling with poverty, women develop mental toughness to figure out how to feed their family. But what about the men? What's happening with the men in that situation? Aren't men, I don't know, especially in Africa, most of the times we are the ones who are the breadwinners. I know in Africa it's slightly different. You have, you know, You have the patriarch and you have the matriarch, and the matriarch is almost on parity in terms of running the household, or especially with the money, not bringing in the money, but almost guaranteed. My money, the money inside the house, which I was brought up in as a child, was always organized. My dad would come out, work, and I sort of did the same thing too. I used to go to work and then come home and then boom, throw that money at my wife, say, take care of things. That's it. I used to like doing that. Like, I used to like it. Now that she is changed her the way she works now, she can no longer. We have to do things together. We have to do everything together. But I used to be able to love coming home now, you know, and say, you know, take care of things. Yeah, so that's the way things are in Africa. I think the women there are so mentally tough and so smart. They can be relied on. In the diaspora, it's slightly different. I think a lot of women in the diaspora struggle more with that. They don't want that. A lot of them just want. They want the man to take care of everything, sort of thing. You know, you understand that all those types of things. That's what a man is supposed to be, you know. Yeah, that's the way I see it. So while women are becoming more, you know, of these metro type, yeah, powerful lady exec type people, that's okay, but we're suffering at home. There's always a place, you know, if there's no balance in the community or in the patriarch, matriarch, you know, if there's no balance there, then there's something that's going to be thrown out of balance, and we're going to struggle one way or another. Sorry, I just missed that. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Hello, Pan-African. DMF, you're not at FANG. Oh, FANG, African FANG. Yeah, naturally. DMF, mental issues can derive from economical and social aspects. Yeah. My brother, who developed schizophrenia, he had no economical problems. He had everything going for him. Everything. But like I said, I think that there was a problem with him smoking weed, because he'd only just started trying it out, and you know, you enjoy that type of thing, and then bang, literally weeks later, he started developing these sort of thoughts, and he started hearing voices inside his head. I think a lot of things that trigger mental health issues, I think they are prevalent inside our community. African ancestry. What if these surgeons are genuinely skilled and love what they do? Some of them are. Some of them are. I'm not saying this because I know about, you know, like I said, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just telling you what I've heard. And it seems pretty logical that they think in a certain way. Even if you have the skill, you are human. You could have the skill to do brain surgery on a child. My partner, my wife's uncle is a top surgeon. So he will do surgery on a child who is still in the womb of the mother. And he'll just do it like that. And when he comes home, doesn't talk about it because it's nothing. It's just a day's work. Oh, yeah, I did that at work. Come on. That's not normal. It is not a normal thing to be like, right? For us, mere mortals. There are people out there that use their mental health issues to their advantage. So, there's no putting that away. Let's have a look. Mattify, thank you very much. It's psychosis that can come up with, yes, thank you for saying this. Ah, man, because this is it. It's psychosis that can come up with cannabis. It's same schizophrenia, but difference is one is treatable. Which one is treatable? The psychosis or the schizophrenia? Because we've been trying for the last 15 years. And we've been, do you know what? Let me tell you something. My brother has suffered with it for the last 15 years, but he was still able to start a business and run a business. And he did well in this business. He bought himself a BMW M4 2 years, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago. About 2 years ago, he bought himself a BMW M4. He's still functioning. And he's still able to do things, But right now, that M4 is sitting on my mother's drive, and it hasn't gone anywhere, and he can't do anything because he's having an episode at this present moment. It's crazy that it just goes like this. And but I think you're right with the cannabis. Definitely, it triggers something. Pure hemp CBD flower don't have that effect though. I think that's true to a certain degree, Chrissy B. If there is no THC inside it, because I think it's the THC that does that job. Yeah. Many American ADOS men suffer from social disorders, degradation of black community. Do BLM in predominantly black cities? Don't understand that. I don't understand that. But I understand that, yeah. The environment that we've been brought up in, and especially now, a lot of us are okay. A lot of us are doing well, right? We're sick of fighting. And this is the reason why we're moving back to Africa in the first place, right? We don't want to fight anymore. We want to grow. We want to build. We want to put our blood and sweat into something. That's what we are like. We're naturally predisposed to being those types of people because of the African blood inside us. We want to build something. We want to be great because that's inside us. But we understand we don't want to give all that to people who don't appreciate it, right? It's true to do with the weed smoking because most people in the mental health hospital in Gambia, especially the youth, is from smoking a lot of weed. Few is hereditary. I think you might be right. Because I've got two younger brothers. Got two younger brothers. One of them's fine. One of them smokes almost every day. One of them smokes almost every single day. Not a problem. Has had problems, issues, but with those are other issues. Smokes cannabis every day, works, no problem. Takes care of his son. Happy. And then the other one, as soon as he tried it, it's turned his life into a living hell. Ish. Now, he's coming on top of it because he's had it for so long now. He's able to deal with it. He knows how to deal with it. but that's it, you know. Yeah, cannabis is not a drug. Define a drug. What is a drug? Yes, but their meat and dairy are healthier in the West. You think? Depends where you get it from. There is no way that a chicken that has been brought up in a cage this big, we still have that in parts of Europe, by the way. They tried to ban it, but Poland was one country in the European Union that said, yo, you can't ban this. This is how we make our money. So there are still countries in the European Union that have these we call them battery chickens, because they're just in little cages like this, thousands of them. There's no way that that's healthy. There's no way it's healthy to consume an animal that has been brought up that way, but we do it like it's nothing. It's spiritual, not physical. Hello guys, sorry about that. Yes, lesson learned. Don't mix weed with other psychedelics. Yeah, it's exactly, or alcohol, Matify. Don't try it. Don't try it. Don't go there. Marijuana is not the problem. The problem is the hybrid versions grown by lights and crystal fertilizers. Yeah, the organic herb is a meditation herb. You know, I have smoked. I go to the Netherlands sometimes. I lived in the Netherlands, but when I was living there, I never smoked it, ironically. But when I've been visiting there now, I do. I smoke it, and I enjoy it. I like it. It's enjoyable. And I'm just happy that I'm able to enjoy it, and I don't have issues with it. But when I smoke it, I can't go out and start drinking alcohol with it. There are certain substances that can open doors in your mind that do not need to be opened. They need to be kept closed. because once you open them, you can't close it again. Has anyone here ever taken hallucinogens? Mushrooms? That type of thing? I don't think you can pray mental health illnesses away either. Yeah, do you know what? In movement, I can tell you this now, you know, I used to work, I used to design, what you call it, you know, these big stands at these shows. And I used to design one for a company called Ovo Best in Germany. It's called Ovo Best. And they used to smash 1 million eggs a day. That's what their company did for a living. So they dealt with processing eggs. And when they smash these 1 million eggs a day, they smash them, they use them, they powder them, they process them and do all that type of stuff like that. These eggs are sometimes free range, but you need to look at these free range farms as well. Anything that you pick up that says free range, you go inside a supermarket to buy, those chickens are still in horrendous conditions. They're still trampling over their own feces and that type of stuff. It's sad to say this, but that's the truth. You know, that's why these people who are, I mean, I normally eat vegan anyway. I say I eat normally vegan. Sometimes I don't. So I'm not totally vegan, but my wife is vegan, so I try not to eat. I try to eat whatever she eats. You know how it goes. The mental health issues come with confusion of oneself and one's destination, physically and spiritually. Yeah, well, I don't think there's any one answer to that. I don't think there's any one answer because there's so many different types of mental health issues that people have a problem with. It's a tragic situation where people need to understand that there are certain triggers, especially within the African community or the African diaspora, especially within there are triggers which can be avoided, you know, if you know about them. Foods can literally alter your mood and mind. That is true. That is very, very true. Are you from Birmingham? Yes, I am from Birmingham. The Netherlands weed is wild, isn't it? You know, especially that AK-47. Ooh. Damn boy, what happened to your lip? Where? No drugs. No. Drugs sometimes. If the solution is to medicate with cannabis drug, what is said for the unadulterated healthy mind? Get a life? I don't understand that part though. Can we self-heal ourselves? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know. You haven't been to India then to see crazy people from the use of weed and mushrooms in the yogis community? Yeah, but all those people in the yogis community in north, east, south, west, in West India, isn't it? Yeah, all those places down there. A lot of them have a good deal of European admixture inside them. You know, that can make a difference. A lot of them have, you know, that are part Portuguese. So a lot of them have Portuguese names, you know. It was a former Portuguese colony. That area, specific area anyway, where the yogis community is from. So that could also make a difference if it's genetically tied. Once again, I don't know because I'm not a psychologist. Ton, I love Amsterdam. One of my favorite cities. I've enjoyed shrooms, and yes, you must be careful. I wonder if you had the Mexican mushrooms. They tried to ban them. Actually, I think they have. They tried to ban the wet mushrooms. They banned them first. I don't know why, because the dry ones are just as strong. I think one young lady took some mushrooms, and I don't know if you've ever been to Amsterdam, there is a science museum that has the road that goes underneath it. There's a science museum in Amsterdam. It's built, it looks like a boat which comes out of the water. And one girl climbed up there. There are steps, you can sort of walk over the roof, and she jumped off it. She was taking mushrooms, you know. There is a big difference. Smoking organic herb and skunk, the vibe is completely different. The organic one is good feel, and the other makes you paranoid. I'm no expert on weed, but you might be right. You might be very right. And the stuff that we generally tend to smoke in Jamaica is the stuff that we grow naturally out of the ground, soil grown stuff that, you know, has grown sometimes for years, you know. It's not just been grown, harvested, not that type of stuff. You know, these are actual naturally grown plants. And I've never smoked anything from there before, so I can't give you my opinion on it. But you might be right. There's so many chemicals that have been put inside these ones, so many different strains, to the point in which we need to question whether there are some strains which have been developed specifically to make us ill. You never know that. I'm just making. I'm sorry about the conspiracy theories, but I need to make these. I have to say what I have to say. You know, that could be the truth. Our bodies are all different, and that is why we are all allergic to different things. The same applies to drugs and medication. Treat your body with respect. Very well said. Vegan is the way. I agree. Stopped eating chicken since I came to the UK. Well done. But the chicken in the UK is actually no, it's bad. It's so cheap. You're better with health since you're going vegan. A lot of people don't understand how good it is to keep a lot of animal fat out of your body. It's much better. Because if you got to know this, right? There is a difference between animal fats and fats from plants like avocados and everything else. There's a big difference. There is one thing that animal fats can do that plant fats can't do. Animal fats can clog up your arteries. It's really that simple. Animal fats can clog up your arteries because I don't know how and why it happens, but it's just the truth. So if you consume animal fats, it gives you a greater chance of having things like heart attacks and that type of thing. If you stop eating animal fats, it goes away slowly but surely. It doesn't stay in there forever. Yeah. So that's one really good thing about consuming your fats from plants and not from animals. No liberation for the medicated mind, tainted soul. If God meant for additives, he would have placed it in DNA. Would it? Is that true? Yeah, that's already been done. I'm sorry, they're not making a deal. That's been done, long done. And forget the Dutch. The Americans are the #1 producers of the top strains of the green now. The Americans are the best at it. They are now. Used to be the Dutch, but nah, forget that. All their best people have gone to the States, and now they grow. And they're trying to grow it in Jamaica now. They're growing it in Jamaica so that they can capitalize on the fact that it's naturally grown Jamaican products, because everybody knows that the stuff that is grown in America is grown for profit, maximum. So it's going to have maximum yield, that type of thing. They don't care. They care about the money. That's the number one thing. So when they put on this, you know, everybody thinks that everything from Jamaica is natural. So they've been buying up huge swathes of land and planting and building these greenhouses like they do, and growing their weed in these greenhouses. Isn't that wild? You have Jamaican police rolling around, arresting people for having little joints like this, you know, but they're letting in these huge corporations to come in, just letting them into Jamaica to come and grow huge greenhouses. And I mean greenhouses the size of, I don't know, just really big greenhouses filled with weed, no problem. And then they get to jump on their private jets and go back to LA or wherever they've come from. It's wild, absolutely wild. Yeah, exactly. That can be, yeah, but it's easy to find out whether that's been done. Once again, I'm no professional. I don't know much about growing weed, but I do know that people do dip weed in embalming fluid to make it look heavier, because when you look at it under a microscope, it has the same white beads, doesn't it? But if you are a connoisseur of weed and you know your stuff, then you're gonna know. You'll see the difference. You'll see the difference. I didn't want this to be about weed, but it's really important because it is a trigger, and I do believe it triggers young people in our community to act a certain way. Not everybody, but some people. Europe didn't fall with GMO agenda, but they're trying it though. They're trying it. Especially like in the UK, now that we're out of the EU, they're going to try it there. They are going to abuse those people back in the UK. They're going to use them. They're going to milk them. Really. It's really funny the way Trump was, you know, speaking to the British, like, you know, like a businessman who's like, yo, he just sees the money inside there, and he just sees that, you know, they're ripe for the picking. And as soon as they came out of the EU, they couldn't barter with anybody. The EU as a bloc is the wealthiest economic community on the planet, right? It's wealthier than China or the United States of America as a bloc. So leaving that bloc and then saying that you know, you can go it alone because we're British, and that was a stupid thing to do, because now all those people are going to get that GMO. They're going to be in the GMO agenda. It's sad, but that's the truth. My younger brother was left a state of functioning coma, really limited mental function, for over 12 years due to laced. Whoa. Is the gamble worth it? Entitled experimentation. Oh my God, really? That's a horrible thing to happen to your younger brother. That is crazy. Oh, did they catch the person? You know, did they take the stuff off the streets? Because clearly it wasn't just one piece, was it? Jeez. Of course. Yeah. The Bible says a lot. The Bible says a lot of things that are to do with using what the earth gives to provide us with what we need. The earth gives us everything we need, right? We don't need to play with it. We don't need to modify it. It's always given us everything we need. The only reason why it's being modified is so that rich people can profit from it. It's the only reason. There is enough land and enough resources on this world to feed everybody and keep everybody healthy 3 times over. Easy 3 times over. But people want to make money from it. That's the problem. Yeah, that's true. Not altering, right? There's a difference between, I think, altering strains, and creating hybrids. That's different than modifying something genetically at a genetic level. It's different. Look at a carrot. You see a carrot. A carrot's orange, right? It's not the real color of a carrot. That has been, that's a hybrid. Carrots are a hybrid. Carrots' normal color is purple, I believe. Like a deep, rich purple. So if you've eaten an orange carrot, that's a carrot from a hybrid of different sort of, strains of that carrot from when it was young or whatever. I'm not sure how it works, but something like that. I'm 95% plant-based and stay alkaline. Vegan didn't work for me, but again, I'm 95% plant-based. Mushrooms are a great meat replacement. They are. I love that. I really do love that. My wife cooks so well food without meat that I could comfortably live with her without eating meat comfortably. Not a problem. Energy as a vegan, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Venus Williams. She is a vegan. Yeah, sorry, read that. Chicken from Bullring. The chicken from the Bullring market. I guess that's a little bit different, isn't it? I don't think there's much difference in that. They even grow it in Japan for the Chinese medicine market, but it's natural and organic. Yeah. The US weed growers use Jamaica to back up their brand because they want to use the stereotype to push them both. California is the weed capital of the US. It is. In fact, if you go to the UK now to buy weed, if you don't have Cali weed, if you don't have the Cali, they don't want to know. All of a sudden, within the last 2 years, everyone's become a connoisseur. Oh, I want, sherbet, flavored candy, colored raindrop. I want that type of Cali weed, please. And if you don't have it, okay, then I'll go somewhere else. I don't want anything else all of a sudden. They don't just want skunk. You used to be able to just ask for skunk. Yeah, skunk. No, they don't want skunk. No, they want the posh stuff. Like, who are you? You watch a few YouTube videos and all of a sudden you think, you're a connoisseur. It's crazy. Every time the UK tried to negotiate with the EU, yes, it was laughable. Yeah, why? Why are you trying it? Yeah, you know where the UK got its riches from. Yep, orange carrot's definitely a hybrid. Is that true? If any women in the chat is suffering with fibroids, go alkaline. It will help you immensely. I'm not a doctor, of course, but it's worth researching. Good point. Every vested gang member in America have the capability and understanding how to lace weed with LSD or PCP. Giving strangers the power of your life is death. Yeah, but do you know what the thing is? PCP and LSD is expensive, right? It's not, they're not cheap things as well. So I don't know, I'm trying to understand the reasons behind lacing something with LSD. You know, it's going to make things stronger, but well, it's going to have adverse effects in other ways. People don't normally smoke weed to hallucinate, but you can get certain strains that make you hallucinate. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. I love mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I love eating mushrooms as a meat replacement. It's great. Okay, guys. I wanted to. I only wanted to be on for an hour, but guys, that was really nice talk. Really, I appreciate talking about that. Sometimes I need to get things like this off my back, and it's nice that you guys kind of know now which way we're going to be going. I have had a lot of emails in my inbox now, and some of them are talking about people who are taking advantage of people in the Repat community, right? And I've made videos on them, and you will see this for yourself. You're going to need to just, you know, I'm making the videos now, so I'm not going to be going live about them. I'm actually making the videos and editing them, so you guys don't think I'm nuts. So you can see this for yourself. Okay, I need to show you guys the evidence on these ones. You need to see the receipts. So I'm going to be posting the first video tomorrow night, my time, before 12 o'clock, so you'll see for yourself, okay? So guys, and then over the next week, I'll be posting certain videos. I think the next day I'm going to do a live. So if anybody who has been a victim of this specific person wants to talk about it, you can contact me in my email. You can inbox me at Tuntalks afterwards, tuntalks@gmail.com. When you see, after you watch the video tomorrow, you can contact me and you can go on live the next day and tell us about your experience. So I think that's perfect. So guys, I'm going to leave it right there for tonight. I want to thank you guys for being patient with me, because I went offline for a bit. So thank you for not going away. Thank you for watching. I'd like to thank you for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. There are going to be new oversight videos coming out this week, and the website is almost complete. So guys, really good things happening here. A lot of growth, a lot of good things happening. And, you know, we're coming into those winter months now. Well, not coming into it. We're coming into the last month of the summer. This year's, it's blown by. It's really blown by. But right now, you still have time to build something, so you can start next year off a little further on down, you know, instead of starting off with a blank sheet of paper from the get-go. So guys, thank you for watching. Thank you. And thank you for the super chats. Thank you very much for those super chats. Always appreciated, as always. And yes, fentanyl. Fentanyl is raving. I don't even understand who made that. Yeah, it's just crazy. I can't believe it's available like that. You can buy it from China. You can buy it from India. Crazy stuff. Stay away from fentanyl, guys. So anyway, guys, thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Until the next time, I'll see you tomorrow. Please watch the video tomorrow. Until the next time, please think twice. Tara a bit, okay? Take care, guys. Thank you very much. China as well. Yep, China. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Take care. Tara a bit.